Hello everyone, it's art day, and this week I thought after we did the boat and the lighthouse, I thought we'd add a little protector on the same sort of theme, well thought of. I'm going to introduce ducks, one because they're adorable, and I think there's something that's really nice to draw too. Selection here like always, and it's up to you which duck you go for. We've got Jemima Puddle Duck, little bonnet, more realistic type duck. I don't know the name of duck, sorry. Maybe a mallard, not quite, I don't know ducks, I'll be guessing. I love this duck, little bow around the neck. Lots of loose sort of sketchings going on there, a bit of etching as well there. And the one I'm going to choose is just this one. Just a plain standard white duck. Looks a bit like a goose, doesn't it? What we're going to start with this is just looking, like always, looking at the shapes. So just make sure you can see. Yeah, standing up there. If we look at the shapes of these ducks, if you start with your circle where your head is, and then obviously you've got a larger circle here, but depending on the position of your duck is where you put your line. So if you want the head more over here, or if you want it straight up, is where you would alter this line. So with this one, the circle goes there. You can see this straight line down, okay? And look at the width of that as well towards the head. It's quite lengthy. And then this, your circle will on this side. And then you can start ticking away. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. Don't need as many pencils with this because I picked a white one. And the glasses on so I can see a little bit better. So I'm going to start with very, very gently. Do you remember when I said that circle, when I said start at your 12, put your point in, 6, 3, 9, okay, just so, very lightly, remember not to use a B. So see there, I've used this as the armitage, got more or less perfect circle. And then like I said before, and I'm not going to draw this line in, I'm just going to visualise the line, to look at the length of that. So it's about one head. 1, 2, 3, say 4. 1, 2, 3, or 3.5, about there. Now from that, where that point is here, I'm going to draw this circle. There's still bits to add on there, but if I get this circle in first, it's going to help me. And again, let's start at the 12, 6, 9, 3, sorry, can't count. Now, one thing that makes me struggle with these books is the spiral, so I can't get my armitage right to do this circle. But it'll be close. You need to have it like this so you can use your armitage. So now that line's in, I'm going to then think about this line as being imaginary, this being the duck's face, and then I'm going to curve this neck. I'm going to curve this in, take it back to there. And then here, I'm just going to flatten the duck's head, not literally, because it's not a proper circle, is it? So it needs to be more realistic. I'm going to flatten that head, and then here, I'm just going to put this shape in just gently, because I want to put a beak in, and they have quite a distinct beak, don't they? But if you start by doing a very faint triangle, that'll be a good start. And back to here, so I'm going to follow this sort of S shape round. And then, once we've got that little shape of the neck, I'm going to bring it back onto the body, around here. So you can see already we're getting some shapes that duck-like. I'm going to take that off. Top of the head off there, that top of that circle, we don't need it. I'm going to take where the beak joins off. Don't need it. Bit off from under that circle there. I'll darken this a bit more in a minute so you can see it better, see it more clearly. I just want to make sure I'm happy with it before I start making it any darker. Because we know the rules, nice and light until we realise we're happy. I'm just going to put the duck shape of the beak in there. And then I'm going to give him the, I don't know why I'm saying a him, it looks like a boy. Sort of duck shape there. And put an eye again. We don't need this part of the circle now. So we can start to darken that slightly. A little bit more. Bring it down into the beak again. A line there, its nostril is. A little bit darker around the ridge. They have lovely beaks, don't they? It's been my first week back properly with all my students this week. So I've had my after skills children, and today we've had our first lot of adults in, 2 lots with a brand new class starting and an art class returning. So hopefully it won't be long before everything else is back to normal. Well, as normal as it's ever going to be. Right, so I'm quite happy with that shape there. So now I'm going to work on the rest of this body. And we've got this circle part, but if you look at this part now, so we have this, our circle part, and then we have these additions here. Okay, so to put that on, if you look at that shape, yeah, it's like just adding sort of a rectangle type shape onto that circle. So all I'm going to do with that is just going to add, again gently, a rectangle, and then I'm just going to, rather than it be a square rectangle, I'm just going to curve mine slightly there. At this stage now, I'm going to point where my feet are going to go. So just so I know I've got the proportion right again, look where that foot is positioned. Okay, it's to the right of the circle. There's a centre to the right here. So when my circle is, it's to the right, so it's right over this side here. So I know by putting that line in there, I know that this here, this rectangle I've added on, it's not wide enough. So I'm going to lengthen this out now. I need it to go bigger with a circle maybe. It's not the right place. So all I've done there, I've just taken that rectangle shape out. So we don't need that now. And I don't need the rest of the circle. Okay, so now I'm going to start going round this and bringing the wing out, making that a little bit wider. Here, put the foot position in, and then bring this down for where the duck part is. I'm going to put my other leg in, which is just about here, along where the wing is. And you can see I'm at the end of my pencil again, not down here. I'm being quite loose at the minute. I'm positioning things. And then here is where it comes back on itself, and we get this little tail effect, a little tufty. tail sort of here. It's going to make that look a little bit narrower there, and then we're going to take this away. Now what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to stand away from this. I don't want my duck being too wide. Let's have a look. I think it's a little wide, so I'm just going to taper off. I suppose it's preference really, but I'm just going to taper off a little bit. Have another look. So that's why we don't go too heavy with a pencil. Right, I think here's a better shape there. So I'm going to work on now making these lines darker, putting a bit of shading in, not too much because it's a white duck, but we need the tonage there, so we'll use a pencil to create depth. I'll see you in a bit. Hi, so I'm back. Hopefully you now got the outline of your duck, you've got the structure that you like, and now all we're going to do is we're going to bring some shading into play. So the H, remember, that's for defining, so it's hard. I've gone round there and defined the parts I'm happy with. When you come to shading, you can use the H again just to refine and darken the edges. My fingers are now down to the tip of the pencil. I just want to have some more control over this. Now, the feet on ducks are very unusual, aren't they? Very cute. And I've put that one in a bit of a wonk because I think it suits the image of the duck. Size the beak a little bit more. And then this is where I'm now going to bring some loose shading. You'll need your blending stick if you've got one. If not, cotton bud or a makeup applicator. So what I'm doing for this one now, I've got a 6B, and as long as you've got anything with a reasonably high number and a B, if you've only got a HB, just press a little bit harder. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring some shading in, and gradually, I'm going to do all this because it'll take forever. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm literally going back into, quite lightly for now, and this right side, because this is where the light source is going to come in from the left. Okay, you'll need an eraser as well, so you can rub some parts of the pencil away to create a light source. And I'm literally just moving my pencil on its side, back and forth. Okay, I'll do it up to the chest. A bit faster there, so just back and forth. And thousands of... It's hard to believe that when I'm drawing, I actually don't talk at all. For those that know me, they know that that's pretty impossible. I talk all the time whilst I'm drawing. A bit darker under here. And I'm going to bring some round here. And I'm just going to show you a few minutes of this, because you should have had lots and lots and lots of experience now over the weeks, over the months, 3 months of videos of techniques and breaking things down and shapes and light source and shading techniques. So I'm just putting this in lightly. Once I'm happy with that, I will then intensify this. So, for example, underneath where it would be darker, naturally darker because it is underneath. So remember, this is where, got one, your blending stub comes into use. Because now you can start to blend them tones and bring them together quite nicely. You don't need to create feathers on this. You'd be here for forever and a day. You can create the illusion. Think about which way your bird is going and forming, and use that as a way to create them shades, tones. As I said, I'm not going to do all of this, because what I'll do, I'll download some of the first video where I finish this off. So if you want the light source in, remember that little trick I told you on the end of your blending stub. You just rub away with, and then twist so you've got no lead on it. Okay, so I'm going to work on shading this duck. I don't know what I'm going to call him yet. Mac, oh yes, well, we'll see. Very cute character. See you in a bit. I'll say half an hour. Hi, so I've worked a little bit more on the duck now. You can see I put a lot of the shading in now, which makes a huge difference. If you look at where the feet are, I've used a 6B just for the darker areas. I darken them up a bit more. But then when we get to the outer areas, I've gone back to using a H, just because, like I've always said, the bees, they bleed, they rub, so you can still get that definition with the, remember, upright with this because you're doing the outside. Okay, I've put some ground down there. Just going to put a bit of, move this to the side, a bit more shading in there. So I've just realised my music's still on, so if it's not too distracting, you might not be able to hear it. I'm a classical fan, I'm afraid. So you can see here how I've just again used that scrumbling method, quite loose. And just do that throughout. And it's preference really now. Use the contours. Don't sort of bring your light area in one bit. Use the shape of the duck to create your contours where you want the light and where you want the shade. It will darken. I've called him Denzel. Denzel Dapper Duck. A bit more darker under there. And there you have it. This is a nice one to do. It's a nice easy one, I think. And they should all have their own characters as well. I'm looking forward to see yours. I like it every week. I'm talking, and that's what happens. Smudge. Like every week, I really do appreciate those that keep taking part and sending me drawings. It just makes it feel worthwhile. There we go. I'll take a photo and send it to Pete. Pete's been amazing getting these videos online, not just mine, everyone's. So he's been a busy bee during lockdown. I think I drove him mad the first month. Still drive myself mad with these things. So there you go. Hope you like him. See you next time.